Hello, Accelerated Math 7-8 students. We are working on Module 11, Lesson 13. And Lesson 13 is called Slicing on an Angle. Okay, slicing on an angle. So here we have on our iPad our notes for today's lesson. Okay, and again, it's called Slicing on an Angle. So if you're trying to visualize what this means, it could be that the 3D figure that we're playing with is not going to be sliced straight down or straight across, but it's going to be sliced at an angle. The goal, today we will learn what happens when a slice is not perpendicular or parallel to the base, because we've been working a lot with perpendicularness and parallelness to bases. But today our focus is going to be what happens when the slice comes at it from a different direction or an angle. The question, what parts of the solid determine the shape of the slice? What part or parts of the solid determine the shape of a slice? Things to know. How do you determine the shape of the three-dimensional figure that the slice came from? Okay, that's something that I want you to be thinking about. Where do you think these slices came from? Okay, so we're looking at that one, that one, that one, that one. Okay, some of you may be thinking for this one, oh, well, maybe it's a cube, right? Because it's in the shape of a square. Some of you may be thinking on this one, oh, maybe it's a triangular prism. Maybe this one is a trapezoidal prism. Maybe this is a pentagonal prism. Okay, and so we have some examples down here of what I said, a right rectangular prism, a cube, a right rectangular pyramid. So it's kind of an interesting thing because these slices or planes don't always come only from the shape that they show. What we've been learning up until now with it being a parallel plane or slice is that it mirrors the base. But today you're going to see that some of these faces from the slices actually can come from different shapes that you would never guess. Okay, so another thing that I want you to look at is, could this slice right here, and we're talking about that little pink triangle right there, could this slice come from this figure? I want you to think about that for a minute. Is there a way that we could slice this 3D figure right here, and when we take the slice off of it and you turn around and you look at the slice, is there a way that that would be the shape of the slice that comes off? Think about it. Okay. Some of you are probably going, well, if I take a slice and I cut it, it's going to be a square. If I keep cutting it, it's still going to look like a square. But remember, we're talking about slicing at an angle. I want you to look at this. Do you see how we sliced from an angle on this one? So if you can imagine your butter knife, let's say this is a stick of butter still, but this time our butter knife came in at a diagonal and it just cut off that corner. Well, if you were to grab that corner of the butter and turn it over and look at it, would it be the shape of that triangle? The answer is yes. Can everybody see it? It's pretty cool, isn't it? Okay. And so our whole focus of our lesson is you need to keep these things in mind. Slices made at an angle are neither parallel nor perpendicular to the base. And the other thing you have to keep in mind is there cannot be more slices to the polygonal region of a slice than there are faces of a solid. So let's count the faces on the solid. There's the front and the back, that's 2. The right side and left side, that's 3, 4. The top and the bottom, that's 5, 6. So this rectangular prism has 6 faces. What we're learning right here is there cannot be more sides to a polygonal region of the slice than there are faces of the solid. So what that means is if you took your slice and then you counted the number of sides the slice has, so let's look at this slice right here. How many sides does that slice right there have? If you said 3, you're correct. So what this is telling us is since this has 6 faces, any slice, no matter what the angle is going to be, it cannot have more sides than 6. because this rectangular prism only has 6 faces. So therefore, the shape of the slice has to be 6 or less. Okay? 6 or less. That's what you've got to remember. So those are kind of two really, really valid, important parts that you need to remember. Slices made at an angle are neither parallel nor perpendicular to the base. That would make sense if we're taking a diagonal slice and lobbing off the corner. It is not parallel. It is not perpendicular to the base. Remember, this shape down here is your base. Okay? And then the other one that you have to remember is there cannot be more sides to the polygonal region of the slice, so that's the shape of the slice, than there are faces of the solid. So this one will work because it's less than 6. Okay, so that's how you need to use that information to help you. All right, again, these notes are kind of they're helpful for little rules to remember, but most of what you're going to get out of these lessons is by actually performing the slice itself and looking at the outcome. So going back to our goal, today we will learn what happens when a slice is not perpendicular or parallel to the base. And then the questions that you need to think about is what parts of a solid determine the shape of the slice. And again, like I said, this will be a lot more fun when I give you the materials and we can actually do some slicing and looking at it. But that's all I have for you to write down today, and I'll see you all later.